we started at a 690 purchase, then we slowly moved up to an 845 purchase. Now we've moved up to a $1.2 million purchase. By the time you add the granny flat, you're talking, say, a $1.5 million purchase. Any thoughts around how your comfort level has changed from like just the dollar amount? People get caught up on that too, right? They get a pre-approval, or they get the capacity of like $1 million. They're like, oh no, I'll spend 800 because I just want to be conservative.
Totally. Going through it makes you way more comfortable. The belief of just like paying it back doesn't make your lifestyle worse and things like that. Now understanding, like even with the YAM strategy, building the granny flats, you can pull all these different levers. Like even if you want to go interest only, like there's a lot of these little things that you can toggle if things do get tight. Not over leverage, obviously,
to increase your cash flow position.
To increase the cash flow perspective. So that's given me a lot more comfortability. But again, when you have a property that's like 700k or 1.5 million and it's doing 10% growth, it's like obviously you want the bigger one, and then obviously there's a cost every time you acquire a property too. So it's just like, why not max out sort of where you can,
both the cost in time and in money, right? Because a lot of people get caught up in like just the money cost, but like it takes time to acquire property. Like we do it every day, and it still takes us months to find one and buy it. You miss out on properties. It's not like going down to the local IGA and just pulling one off the shelf and going, oh yeah, there's a property, add it to the portfolios. And
even just our experience now, like we've had a few in Brizzy that we haven't acquired, and I'm just thinking like, thank God I'm not on my Sat day or whatever going and looking at this property. When we also went with Henderson, that first fee for the buyer's agent, like that was probably the biggest bit of money I'd spent in terms of like investing in myself. But you know, when you do that and you see the equity growth, you're like, that was the coolest thing to be like, wow, it is worth paying something for a good service. So that was really cool.
Well, I mean, the only reason I got into this business is because I used Chris Gray to buy my second property, and like if I look at what that made me now in comparison to 30 grand or whatever it was I paid him, it's pittance, right? It's like nothing. And then I've also seen the opposite of that, of like my parents went down the path of not paying for advice, getting advice from their accountant, buying two off the plan, selling it for less 11 years later. And it's like, which was the more expensive advice, the 30,000 up front or the hundreds of thousands paid 11 years after you bought the wrong asset?